Hey everybody, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today we've got to talk about the World Cup in Qatar that is coming soon because it is rife with privacy issues thanks to two apps that you have to have on your phone if you're going to attend this, and a lot of officials are, basically privacy officials are sounding the alarm over this one. This is unfortunate. Here's what's going on. Now, the first app that we are talking about here is called Etsaraz. I believe I am pronouncing that correctly. I apologize if I am not. This is a COVID-19 tracking system, and the other app is Haya, which is an app that allows, or not, fans to enter stadiums, schedule viewing, and basically use free public transportation in Doha and other places where basically around Qatar this is going to be used. But basically, these two apps are being considered spyware, and here's why. Now, Etharaz, again, I hope pronouncing that correctly, is basically already used in Qatar. It asks the users for remote access to your pictures, your videos. It is allowed to make unprompted calls and is able to read or modify your device. Now, on top of that, Haya, the other apps, those permissions include full network access and unrestricted access to personal data. It also prevents the device from going into sleep mode and views the phone's network location as well as track the user's location as well. That is obviously a very huge problem. Already we are talking about essentially an authoritarian state, and I'll get to that in a second. Now, on top of this, I think Oyvind Vasian, and I'm probably mispronouncing that name and I apologize, the head of security at the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, in an interview, summed up this issue essentially best. And so I will leave you with this before I go on a rant. And I quote, "When you download these two apps, you accept the terms stated in the contract, and those terms are very generous. You essentially hand over all the information in your phone. You give the people who control the apps the ability to read and change things and tweak it. They also get the opportunity to retrieve information from other apps if they have the capacity to do so, and we believe they do. It is not my job to give travel advice, but personally, I would never bring my mobile phone on a visit to Qatar." Now, that, and I end quote, and I think that is essentially the nuts and bolts of this here. This is a huge problem that we are seeing. First things first, I'm a big fan, actually, of the World Cup. I grew up playing soccer, or as most of the world calls it, football. With my father being my coach a lot, and I have fond memories of sitting down and cheering on the various teams in the World Cup. As I grew up. This is something that was basically near and dear to my heart. Growing up, I've always enjoyed it. But the last few World Cups have been just, I think, a real big problem because FIFA, if you did not know, that is basically the federation, for soccer, for football in the world. They are the world standard for this. Were sued over corruption. Essentially, there was a whole bunch of corruption and bribery that got Qatar and I believe Russia, the previous World Cup, basically to be the host countries. Qatar did not have a football league basically until the last 5-10 years or so, as they started developing one in anticipation of this. There's also human rights violations as they were basically taking laborers from East Asia, seizing their passports, building these stadiums to basically a death toll in the hot desert sun of Qatar of about 3,000-4,000 workers every year. There's no way I was going to go to Qatar. Now, if you are basically traveling there or are already there and you have your phone there, you're kind of out of luck. But if you're going to go and you have not gone yet, I highly recommend taking a burner phone that has none of your personal information. Meaning I would take a phone that I've got laying around, like my old phone or whatever it is, completely wipe it out, basically put a bogus account on there. And so if I've got these apps, they're not getting any of my personal information. When they're tracking me, through, all around Qatar, all these kinds of things. But as soon as that's over and I'm on the airplane, that phone is getting wiped and turned off. And there you go. So understand the risks that you have as you are traveling overseas. A lot of people do not understand the strict penal codes and laws, many of them based on the Islamic religion in that country as well. We are anticipating, and the world is anticipating, as much as I've read, that people are going to be arrested for doing what you're allowed to do here in the United States or in England or Germany or wherever you are. So make sure you know the laws. Make sure you understand that you are essentially giving foreign government, and especially a foreign government that has an intelligence wing that has been caught spying before, a whole bunch of access to your devices, your information. That is a problem. And, as much as I love soccer, I'm really going to be sitting this one out in Qatar. Good luck to every team there. Good luck to your team. But I wouldn't be there if I were you. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe, stay online, and please attempt to stay private. Thanks, everyone.